All right, 22 minutes before 7 o'clock here on Morning Live, as we've been reporting that Finance Minister Malusi Gigaba has tabled his budget speech, and for the first time in democratic South Africa, value-added tax is raised by 1 percentage point to 15%. Leanne is still out in Cape Town for us this morning. It's the morning after the budget speech. Let us once again say good morning to her.
Hi, Palesa. Yes, a very, very good morning to you and to all of the viewers. And as you said, it is that budget breakfast that we have. It's an annual event that we've had for many, many years with the Finance Minister. And he should be arriving any minute from now to come and sit down, have a conversation with us. And we can just understand a little bit more clearly the thought that went into some of the decisions, and that one you made, especially about that 1 percentage increase in VAT. Well, joining me now to talk a little bit more about this, and he was mentioned during the speech of our Finance Minister, is Dr., or as I like to call you, Professor Daniel Plaatjies, the chairperson of the Finance and Fiscal Commission. So good to see you, Prof. Thanks for talking to us.
Good morning. Thank you, Leanne.
Yeah. So obviously your role, let's first begin there. I mean, you play a very integral role in putting that budget speech together.
Well, the Finance and Fiscal Commission is a constitutional structure that gets consulted by the government, the executive, especially the Minister of Finance, on the national budget, but in particular the division of revenue and what goes into national budgets are based on social policy, economic policy, and the range of interventions that government wants to make. Our role is to annually, before budget gets tabled, to give an idea to government what are the things that government should focus on the year before. Yeah. So last year we gave our proposals to government in terms of urban development and urban investment and the role of cities in the economic development and social development of the country. And now through investment in cities, infrastructure, the country then effectively would contribute to productive relationships within that sphere.
When you looked at this year and you sat down together with the team and Treasury to come up with this budget, this was obviously a very, very difficult one, because you kind of had to find money where there was no money to find and start funding some of the most major projects that South Africa's embarked on. And I talk about the free tertiary education, also looking at NHI, and the decision thereafter, that 1 percentage point hike in VAT. I mean, these are big and bold decisions that have been taken.
Indeed. I think what we face is the whole process of fiscal consolidation. And we either needed to do that or we want to find ourselves in fiscal austerity measures. And the decision that was taken is that let's further consolidate. What I'm, from a Finance and Fiscal Commission perspective, what we're happy about is social services spending has been protected. So in fact, the investment of government through the social wage to the poor has been protected through this budget. And the money has gone into higher education, hasn't destabilized that, but it was just a reorganization to be able to fund higher education as the first year in particular. For what is of concern to us going forward is the managing of the public finances and governance around that, but also matters related to better public spend, better public service spending, and better service delivery. And then the whole issue around investment in productive relations by improving skill sets that the economy require. And then obviously there's a need to start dealing with wastage in the system, irregular spending, fraud and corruption that we find in different pockets of the public service. So I think what the President has helped us all is to, on the one hand, we need to start pushing back on wastage in the public service, which means that we need to look at what is the size and shape of the public service. And in many instances, push back on the growing public service wage, which can create a serious destabilization effect. So we are hopeful that there would be more thinking about how do we deal with the wage negotiations relative to where the fiscus stands. And it is conceivable that there might be a need to to call again a moratorium on senior management salaries.
Yeah. Well, talk to me about the where that sits at, actually, the public service wage. What is that bill sitting at right now?
Well, I can't give you offhand, but it's quite high.
Yeah.
It's quite high. And in many instances, it's at the top end where the expenditure is the highest relative to efficiencies, productivity that the public service actually have to contribute to value add to the service.
Yeah.
So there's a need to relook at the size and shape of the public service.
Yeah.
Also a need to relook, do we need so many different departments and where can we rationalize? And I think the president is putting us on the right track as a country, as a whole as a country, to look at that. And from a finance and fiscal perspective, commission perspective, we will start looking at what the president has indicated in the State of the Nation address, what the minister is saying, Minister of Finance, and how all of that helps with taking us out of this fiscal consolidation to a better fiscal performance, but also to ensure that we deal with the leakages within the system, especially when it comes to the public service.
Awesome. Thank you for talking to us. Professor Daniel Plaatjies talking to us in his capacity as the chairperson of the Finance and Fiscal Commission. I think in the next hour here on Morning Live, we'll have our guest of honor, the Finance Minister himself. He'll sit down, have a conversation with us and with you. Please do send in all those questions at Morning Live SABC, and it's the hashtag Budget 2018. We look forward to hearing from you after this break. Stay tuned.